Okay. Basically, if I hold something up like that, or when I go like this and start stroking it, that's I've got a photo. I haven't done the conclusion yet, but this is what I got so far. Okay. Saving people, hunting things, the family business. These 7 words are enough to make thousands of teenage girls make a face like, and their friends around them to say something along the lines of, "Who is this person? Who are you? Why did you follow me home? Get away from me before I'll call the police." By which time the girl is on the floor in the fetal position, crying tears of blood as she whispers Winchesters over and over again. That situation is one of the many symptoms of a person who has fallen under the influence of the CW hit TV series Supernatural. And it's one of the mild ones. Supernatural is a show about two brothers in their 20s who. Okay, so basically, the mom got killed by something when the younger one was a baby, and their dad swore he'd find the thing and kill it. So then he got involved in hunting ghosts and demons, and then the younger one, Sam, was like, "I don't need this," and the dad was like, "Lol, okay." So then he went to college, and his brother Dean showed up and was like, "Dad's gone." So they went off and fought some lady, and Sam went back home, and his girlfriend got killed by the thing that killed his mum. And so he went to Dean and said, "My girlfriend is dead, just like my dreams. Let's get hunt some ghosts." And Dean was like, "Yeah, let's do this." There's some stuff with some demons and monsters and the apocalypse, and some homosexual angel comes in, and you get the point. Now, at first, people look at it and they think, "Hey, that seems cool. Yeah, let's watch that." That's really where they make the mistake. The first mistake when you get involved with Supernatural is making the decision of watching it. The main things that make it the world's worst TV show are how no matter how hard you try, you can't give it up, and the attachment. Now, I myself am a huge fan of this television program. However, I don't like it. I think I've quit watching it about 337 times before just sort of listening closer. That's the first problem. It finds 1,000 different ways to play on your heartstrings, but no matter how hard you try, you can't stop watching. You get attached, intrigued. It's like that one book that's so good you take it into the loo and then you stall getting off because you can't bear to put it down. A series starts off light-hearted, apart from burning of bones and horrific deaths, and not to mention the shockingly awful editing skills. So you think it's okay to watch it, a nice break from Grey's Anatomy or Doctor Who, but oh no, in my opinion, it's worse. Here, we see them in season 1, and here, we see them in season 8. This is pretty much the Supernatural fandom over the same amount of time. We start off screaming our heads off and changing our trousers frequently because of how terrifying this is. Move on to laughing so hard we cry because of how ridiculously stupid and hilarious it is. And the whole time just stare longingly at the faces of pretty boys. But at the season 2 finale, when the unthinkable happens, that's when the emotions really kick in. That's when you realize that you're in far too deep to back out now. Because you find out why their mother, Mary Winchester, died the way she did. Why Sam has visions. Why any of this is happening. And you can't stop. You can't put the book down because all the answers might be on the next page. Then the screen goes black and the credits start rolling and you don't find anything out until the end of season 5. You can't stop. You just can't. I know of some people who have refrained as the emotional trauma was just too much for them to handle. But there are those of us who stick with little Sam and Jim Winchester to the very end. Those of us who don't have a life anymore. Then is the worst part. Attachment. The characters you think are safe but are as dangerous as a stick of dynamite. The ones that aren't Sam or Dean or that gay Angel Castiel. You can't like any character apart from them, and even Sam and Dean are a little dodgy. There's a video on YouTube of all their deaths in chronological order, and it's 10 minutes long. Being a show about ghosts and demons, it goes without saying that people will come back. Supernatural takes full advantage of this, though. You see, they come back, but people use them against you. Dean will get drugged by a monster and live in a world where their mother never died, and Jessica and Sam are still together and they live an apple pie life. Or a particular character will come back as a ghost and start going vengeful, whereupon they have to burn his bones to say goodbye yet again. And you'll be left feeling worse than you did when they first kicked the bucket. So every single character that isn't Sam, Dean, or Kaz will either die or have some heart-wrenching farewell. Then there are characters though that are there for so long. You think they're safe. You think they'll make it. My favorite character, he was there from season 1, first appearing in the finale as an old friend of the Winchester family. From the first moment, he had my heart, and I loved him to absolute death. Then, as I watched on, I started seeing more and more of him, and I discovered how significant he was to the Winchester boys, how much of a father figure he was to them, how he kept his head when all about them were losing theirs, including me. He was so kind and funny and firm and reminded me so much of my grandfather. My friend told me he would die, but I didn't care. I just loved him. I thought I'd be able to prepare myself for his death, that it would be over in seconds. Nothing could ever prepare me for that blow to my emotions. First, there was a cliffhanger in season 7 when he jumped into the back of the van and Dean held up his head. There was a hole where a bullet had passed through. Then there was the next episode that knocked me off my feet with such a force I was left sobbing into a tub of ice cream for 2.5 hours. What I'd expected to be a 5-minute death scene turned out to be a 40-minute long journey through his darkest memories, including the character killing his abusive father by shooting him in the head right where he himself had been shot. There are worse examples, but it was only 2 weeks ago, and I am not ready to go back there, man. I can't. Okay, so that's all I've got so far. Yeah, it's a little bit long. I'm going to have to cut this out, and then I just have to do the conclusion. Hope you liked that. I love you.